Okay, so this is recording going to talk about the newest parties. This is Jamaica Progressive Party. I mentioned them earlier on last month, I believe, and they will learn a little bit about their platform, which is not really going to go down well to Jamaica. It says religious party to ban strip clubs and casinos. The church-based Jamaica Progressive Party (JPP) will abolish income taxes, ban go clubs, and raise salaries for civil servants if it gains state power. JPP President Gilbert Edwards, who migrated to the U.S. when he was 20 years old, says party plans to increase the national minimum wage, invest in the mothballed national airline. Quote to quote, I want to bring Air Jamaica back and all of the other plans that we have to make sure our people are successful and we're able to strengthen family, told the Gleaner this past Tuesday. Alright, he said the abolition of tax will ensure that Jamaicans have more disposable income to clothe and feed their families. And he goes on to say, income tax is very oppressive. People need to keep their income, said Edwards, who wants to decrease general consumption tax to 10%. GCT is currently calculated at 15%. The 57-year-old Jamaican medical technologist said he came from very humble beginnings, where his mother gave birth to him at 15 years old. He grew up in Mount Hindmost in Clarendon prior to migrating to the U.S., where he made his fortune partly by launching a diagnostic center. Edo said he also had investments in other businesses. The JPP is currently waiting for a certification of registration for the Electoral Commission of Jamaica. Alright. The Director of Elections Glasspool Brown announced in early June that the Registrar of Political Parties is undertaking a review of the JPP's compliance with registration requirements. The party will know on July 11th, which is basically next week, whether it has been approved there for making it the fourth party to be registered by the Commission to conduct a general election constitutionally due in 2021. Sorry if I slurred my words a bit. Alright, so it's alright. I'm not going to read everything word for word, but what else is known is that the party has more than 50 candidates, majority were passwords. Alright, they say that the Rainford, the pastor in United Church, who was the general secretary, by the way, Robert Rainford, he just tells about his background. He served as permanent secretary in both the justice and local and government ministries in the past. Alright, and technical. I say that most of the members have technical skills. Alright, so what else is saying that the Errol said that the Afroman Gilbert Evans said that his party said sure that a government ruled by his party will not be a theocracy, even though he said that they're about strip clubs, nude hotels, and casinos. All right. So basically, that's all we know part of that they're against the hedonism thing, which is very prevalent in Jamaica. Now, why am I doing recording this? I'm all for the fact that we need some more parties who are not JLP and PNP, because both those parties have failed the country miserably, because both parties have been the mouthpieces for a lot of interest groups and other and the whole hierarchy that comes from the colonial machine that still governs this country and the rest of the world. So I'm all for a better party, or better candidates in the two main parties taking over and actually steering Jamaica on the right course. This ain't it though with this party though. I'm not really, what they're saying about increasing the GCT. I guess that's not so bad. I'm not even so much hung up on the thing where they want to ban strip clubs, casinos, because like I said, like there's that. Like those are just individual pleasures. Although a lot of people men in Jamaica especially aren't really going to like that, because we like our hedonism just as the way it is though. We want to go to clubs where you can spend money on naked women, or even go a back road and have some sexual flings with prostitutes. So a lot of men are going to read, Jamaican men who have that mindset are going to read and say, nah, we ain't. So far, we're instantly repulsed by their manifesto. So they're not going to be winning a lot of Jamaican men, or men who are strongly for these things, these vices being normalized. No, my problem with their platform is that there's not one thing mentioned about a crime plan. Like There's nothing where they say like we're going to do something about crime as well as corruption. That's my main issue right here is that they're not, no, if they start saying, hey, we are going to be pushing for laws that are going to a trans punish for better law enforcement. That means that we get better technology and forensics, so a lot of these killings that have been going on a daily basis that they get solved. We're all for a better police department where there are police who are screened thoroughly to make sure that they're not corrupt and that they're properly trained. All right, we are for we're also for on the corruption part. We are about punishing corruption. All officials who engage in corruption under our government, they're going to be very appropriate sentences for those in politics, the police department, or any other person who are in important positions. That if you engage in corruption, there are going to be consequences. And yeah, there are going to be people looking out against that as well, because we don't want to have an environment, they don't want an environment where people get held accountable for their actions. But I'd have respected this party more if they started with that. And the most important thing since how this is primarily a church politically based party, there are going to be screening of what goes on in the church, like all the criminals and perverts that are in the church body. We are going to be flushing them out and we're going to be punishing them. They're going to go over there with the other sinners and criminal offenders who are helping to undermine this country. Because remember, Jamaica has so many churches around or each parish. We have a high crime rate. So that tells you something, that there's a disconnect between the church and what goes on in the rest of society. And they need to address that. We're going to say that we are going to be cleaning house all those in the church body who are in league with these criminals. And yeah, there are criminal elements within the church. No matter how hard the churches want to cover that up or even glass over that, we are going to be doing something about that. So any corrupt pastor or any pastor who's a pedophile or whatever, or even better yet, we are going to be addressing all the white supremacy and the racism within the church body. And yeah, and that's something a lot of church folks, and especially unfortunately, a lot of black church members, whether we're around the globe, we do the Three Monkeys Act, where we hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil when it comes to the racism and white supremacy that goes on within the church. If they had if they had come out the gate addressing all this stuff and what we're going to do about it, I would have taken this more seriously. But the fact that okay, we just want to get rid of a few personal vices and whatever, yeah, and then we're not mentioning all these other more important things. Yeah, that's sinking your chances. I'm saying this to all the political parties outside the main two. If you want to be taken seriously or a better chance, with sensible Jamaican people, these are the things that you need to come out talking about. All right, you need to talk about the crime and corruption. What you're going to do about it. That's one of the most important issues that you should be talk about in your manifesto. Because these guys, yeah, they missed the mark on this one. So that's all I have to say. So this is for State of Jamaica and the Caribbean. Check out my YouTube pages, Miles Goose and Farron, Miles Jeff Productions, and Real Thoughts of Miles. Okay.